Oh boy. Scott Disick recently sent Kristin Cavallari a direct message, and on her recent podcast, she read it verbatim. Listen, on one hand, I think it's kind of a little bit uncouth of her to do that, but on the other hand, I am a messy. I love the drama. And so is she, because she's a professional podcaster these days. It's been years since she's done reality television. She's got to pay the bills, and she knows if she gets people talking, they will listen. Or maybe not, because if you watch my video, there's no need to listen. And listen, I don't. I don't listen to her podcast, but apparently she's been putting the Kardashians on blast recently. She calls them the Kardashians. I like them. I like them, especially Kim and Chris and Khloe. Kourtney's fine too. I've never met the young ones, but I've met the Kardashians. And I've only had positive experiences with them. If I got even an inkling of ick, I would let you know. But all four of them, the three sisters and the mom, have been nothing but very kind. In fact, I don't even know why I'm spilling all this. The last time I saw Kris Jenner was around when my mom had skin cancer. And I was very nervous, and I was just talking to Kris about that. And she said, "I'm going to pray for your mother." And I believed her. It was so sincere and beautiful. And she's got drama with them. Apparently, there's a lot of backstory. There's a lot of beef behind the scenes that we don't know about, and that she either has been spilling or will be spilling on her podcast. Which is why Kristin thinks the timing of Scott Disick's DM is odd. The two of them have a past, remember? Reports from 15 years ago claimed that they hooked up in Vegas once. Well, Kristin's going to talk about that and a lot more, but first, let's get into the DM. Cavallari says, "What interesting timing that I get a DM on Instagram from Scott effing Disick. And I'm going to read it to you guys because I just don't give a flying F anymore. They've effed with me for these many years, and you don't get to just do this." They being the Kardashians. She says that this DM is so manipulative, and she reads it saying, quote, from Scott, "It's been such a long time. It's crazy. Kind of crazy that our lives also ended up being kind of similar. I feel like it would be so good to see you and catch up and just talk about the stress and all the different things you've got to go through with kids and changing your life around over and over. Really miss ya though. And I wish I would have reached out earlier. I've just been so busy trying to be the best dad I can be. I don't have time for much, but I'm trying to think about myself again, or trying again. Hope to hear from you. Just text me so it's easier to chat." Well, she was not feeling that. Oh, no, no, no. Very savagely, she responds, "Scott, you miss me after 17 years? No, that timing is not lost on me. That as I'm ripping on the Kardashians, calling them out for blank, now they want to send in Scott?" She claims that she believes that the message from Scott is part of the Kardashians' attempts to try and silence and control her. Kristin also reminds us of the incident back in 2008 where he was on a break from Kourtney Kardashian and they were partying in Vegas, and that's where all of the hookup rumors began. Kristin explains, "I had known Scott probably since we were 18 or so. Just being in LA, we ran in the same group of friends. We used to party together. We used to hang out all the time. Nothing ever happened between us. And then he started dating Kourtney. And Kristin reveals that after he started dating Kourtney, she and Kourtney became really good friends. I really loved Kourtney, says Cavallari. We had so much fun together. I liked her a lot. But after the two of them were partying in Vegas when he was on a break from Kourtney, the rumors came out, and well, she thinks he planted those rumors. And I totally believe that because Scott Disick has played the game, as have all the Kardashians. Of that night in Vegas, Cavallari is adamant that nothing happened. She says, "We went out, we had a great time. I was never alone with Scott. Not even for one effing minute was I alone with Scott. We weren't even being flirty or touchy. There was nothing to it." And she says that now she is convinced it was Scott who planted the fake hookup stories. She says, "It's 100% Scott who did this to get back at Kourtney. How it was worded, I was like, oh my God." She could tell it was him. Makes sense. But the jealousy tactic, the play, it worked. He and Kourtney got back together, and sadly, her relationship with Kourtney ended. Her friendship. Kristin explains on her podcast, "I remember talking to Kourtney being like, 'Kourtney, you know nothing happened.' And what she said to me was, 'I don't know. I have sisters, and I would just never put myself in that situation.' She just sort of wanted a reason not to be friends with me anymore." She also believes the rumors were a great distraction for the family because around this time, Kim was going through her messy divorce with Kris Humphries and that infamous 72-day marriage. So juicy. I love it. I still have zero interest of listening to her podcast, but I want to know more. I want to know more of what the Kardashians allegedly did to you, Kristin. And also, I want you watching this right now to tell me, do you think that was cool of her to literally put him on blast by reading his DM publicly? Lots to discuss. Let's get into it in the comments section.